All right, if you're in marketing, you know the deal. The landscape is just getting more and more complex, more competitive every single day. So today, we're going to break down a modern playbook. We're talking about how to steer your strategy, how to map the battlefield, and ultimately, how to find your own unique way to win. Okay, let's dive right in.
I mean, this is it, right? This is the question that keeps every single marketer up at night. It's not just about having a great product or a clever ad anymore. Winning? Well, that requires a deliberate, super strategic approach. And that's exactly what we're going to unpack.
So, first things first, before you can even think about winning the race, you've got to make sure you're actually on the track and, pointing in the right direction. This whole first step is all about control. The legendary Philip Kotler, he really nailed it with his definition. The best way to think about marketing control is like the steering wheel and the dashboard for your entire marketing machine. And listen, this is not about restricting creativity. It's about making sure all your hard work is actually hitting the mark you aimed for in the first place. The process itself is this really simple but powerful loop. It all starts with setting crystal clear goals. Then you measure how you're actually doing against those goals. But, data is just noise until you really evaluate it and ask why you're seeing those numbers. And that analysis, that leads to the most important step, taking corrective action. You got to steer the ship back on course. This is not a one and done thing. It's a constant cycle. You're always steering, measuring, and adjusting. Okay, so you've got your internal dashboard all sorted out. You know where you're going. But here's the thing. Marketing doesn't happen in a vacuum. You're out there on a battlefield with a ton of other players. So to compete, you first need a really good map of that battlefield. And honestly, there is no better map than Michael Porter's 5 Forces. This framework is a classic for a reason. It gives you a systematic way to look at all the pressures that really decide whether an industry is profitable or not. It breaks down the threat of new competition, how intense the current rivalry is, the power of your buyers and suppliers, and the chance of some substitute product coming along. Getting a handle on these 5 things is absolutely key to finding your strategic edge. So let's talk about that first force, the threat of new entrants. It's a pretty simple question, really. How high are the walls around your castle, right? If it's cheap and easy for some new company to pop up and start doing what you do, well, you're going to feel constant pressure. The higher you can build those barriers, things like patents, brand loyalty, or just high startup costs, the safer your piece of the pie is going to be. And what about the other people already inside the castle walls? That's your rivalry. In some industries, it's kind of like a friendly game of tennis. In others, though, think about consumer goods. It is an all-out war for every single percentage point of market share. You have to know how intense that fight is, because it's going to dictate every single move you make. Okay, so you've mapped the battlefield, you know where the big pressure points are. Now comes the really big question. How do you want to compete? Do you go head-to-head with everybody else? Or is there maybe another way? This brings us to a huge strategic choice. On one side, you have what's called the red ocean. This is the bloody, shark-infested water where everyone's fighting over the same customers. It's a brutal fight for market share. But then, there's the blue ocean strategy. The goal here is totally different. It's not about beating the rivals, it's about making them completely irrelevant by creating a brand new, uncontested market space. So, how in the world do you find a blue ocean? Well, it boils down to this brilliant, simple framework. You just ask 4 questions about your industry. First, what are the things everyone takes for granted that we could just eliminate? Second, what can we reduce way, way below the industry standard? Third, what should we raise far above it? And the big one, what can we create that the industry has never, ever offered before? And for a perfect real-world example, just look at the Indian Premier League for cricket. They didn't just make another cricket tournament. No way. They eliminated the super long, slow format. They reduced the barriers for people who weren't hardcore fans. They raised the entertainment value through the roof. And they created this amazing fusion of sport, celebrity, and high-energy fun. They didn't compete with traditional cricket. They created a whole new market for themselves. So, how do these timeless strategies actually fit into today's world? Well, we still use the fundamentals, right? Control, the 5 forces, blue ocean thinking. But now we have these incredible new tools to execute these strategies with a kind of power that was just unimaginable before. AI and data analytics, they're the ultimate force multipliers. Think about it. They let you segment your markets with insane precision. They automate all the boring tasks so your team can focus on actual strategy. They let you map out the customer journey in minute detail. And, maybe most importantly, they help you make decisions based on what's likely to happen next, not just guesswork. AI is basically your strategic co-pilot for navigating both red and blue oceans.
So what's the big takeaway here? Winning today, it isn't about one single tactic. It's about putting it all together. Having the internal discipline of control, the external awareness of the competitive landscape, the bold vision of a blue ocean strategy, and the raw power of modern tools to bring it all to life. The question isn't whether this new game is being played. It is. Your competition is already on the field. The only real question is, are you?